What's the creepiest thing you've ever found while staying at a hotel or Airbnb? Let's just hope that they aren't as bad as these secret recordings. I don't know, this is the worst case scenario. Welcome back to Bumblebee. I'm Taylor McWaters, and here are the top 10 darkest secret recordings in history you weren't supposed to hear. Number 10, smoke detector. Our list kicks off in the beautiful Sacramento, California. Carolyn Perry was cleaning her apartment one day when she realized that her smoke detector looked a little off. You ever catch the red blinking in the middle of the night and you forget there's a smoke detector above you? That's a little jarring. Well, she kind of forgot about it too, right? For a while, and upon closer examination, written right on the thing, it said, "This is not a smoke detector. This will not detect heat or smoke. For video surveillance only." Huh. Odd. Now, there's a few thoughts that would go through my head personally. One, that's so dangerous. Always make sure those are up and running. Change those batteries. Friendly reminder. But two, the obvious ew here. Who's been watching? And how long have they been watching for? And what did they see? Ugh, I don't wanna, yeah. Not only did Carolyn end up moving out of the complex, obviously, but she's also used her story to warn others. And I figured I put it on this list first to do the same. Pass it on, right? Check those smoke detectors. For numerous reasons, check them. Number 9, coffee time. When these cameras are recording people secretly, yeah, it's terrible because obviously they're unaware, it's violating privacy, so much wrong, can't even explain, but they're hard to find, and that's the sad reality. The better technology gets, the harder that we can trace these things down, especially when we visit a foreign country. The plugs are different, you don't even know what things are supposed to look like, let alone, you know, a secret camera. People are creeps everywhere. This photo here was posted online, and the post explains, "Found this camera disguised as a USB charger in the women's bathroom at the Starbucks that I work at. It was plugged in directly across from the toilet. Please keep an eye out." How horrible is that? That's an employee, a boss, maybe, I don't know, somebody in that building saying good morning to people every day, smacking those coffees on. That's who's doing that. That's disgusting. See, you never know. They're leaving hidden cameras. Ugh, not trying to get you paranoid, but this list is pretty eye-opening. You're gonna be checking every plug when you get home, looking at these lights. I'm like, wait a minute, is there a camera here? What is that behind the glass? Number 8, Linda Tripp. This next one is a real trip. Had to. Back in 1998, Pentagon employee Linda Tripp would have phone calls with Monica Lewinsky, who of course was involved in a scandal or two with one President Clinton. So these conversations were probably pretty juicy, for lack of a better term. Lewinsky even caught on to these recordings over the phone, and she asked Linda on the other side, "What is this double clicking noise that I'm hearing? What's going on? What are you doing over there?" And Tripp was quick on her feet. She actually lied to her on the spot. She was like, "Oh, that's just my gum. I'm just chewing gum." Meanwhile, Tripp was secretly recording tapes that led to Clinton being impeached. Good times, we all know that one. We've heard about that one on our LimeWire, on our iPod Nano, just full blast, always reminding you. Number 7, another charging cube. Here we go. These ones are quite common, so sleep in fear, folks. This unsettling story comes from an Instagram user who went by the username Alex Undone. Gotta tell your story. They posted a photo online of what looks like a USB charging cube thing that, you know, we all have 19 of for some reason. And for some reason, there's also an SD card slot in there as well, a little double whammy for some reason. The caption of the photo tells a very creepy story. Basically, Alex had checked into an Airbnb and after a long day of work had a nice cozy hot bath, had a bite to eat, then they headed out to the living room to chill out before bed, right? Pretty average. That's when they found this little USB cube thing, little computer, I don't know. That's when Alex realized his little cube actually had a camera hidden inside. And the craziest part is that Alex only realized because they had remembered a warning from a model that went viral about how people did this sort of things in places like Airbnbs or changing rooms or other, you know, private places like that. So Alex was tipped off, looked, and then found. Terrifying, but you know what? That's why we're here. That's why we're doing it. Thankfully, Alex did their job and reported the finding, and the listing was subsequently removed from Airbnb. But I can't imagine how horrifying that must have been for Alex to find, especially after a bath too, just drying off. You're like. Number 6, secret plugins. Okay, all these have a theme, it seems. Yeah. A man named Max Vest, first of all, great name, you sound like a 90s action hero. It's Max Vest. He's got 7 vests on. He checked into an Airbnb apartment in Miami, saw some plugins in the wall that looked kind of like those cube charging ports. You know, again, the classic thing that we have many of lying around the house. No cords, but blocks. Always just the blocks. But this block didn't have the USB part. It actually had nothing, so we had no idea why it was there. He decided to look into it further and unplug the thing from the wall, and this is when he found the secret SD card hidden in the back, which made him realize that it was, of course, a hidden camera. Like, what do you do at that point? What do you do first? I would just eat the camera and be like, haha, now you get to see the worst. There weren't just one also. There were 2 of these cubes found in his rented space. One was right below the TV, and the other was below one of those plug-in air fresheners. Just the best views of the house, I guess. Max took the SD cards to the police to report the incident and hopefully help protect others who may have been planning to rent that same unit. Yeah, great call. Who's watching people watch TV? Well, I guess that's what reaction channels are. Weird. Number 5, another smoke detector. Nice, safety first. This one starts off with a family from New Zealand who was traveling around Europe when they checked into, you guessed it, an Airbnb in Cork, Ireland. Yeah, also side note, I used an Airbnb like once or twice. I checked every nook and or cranny, and I suggest you do the same, always. Why not? The father of the family worked in IT security, so off the bat, he did exactly this. He started off by scanning the house's Wi-Fi network. Tony Stark over here, okay. We're all unpacking. This guy's checking ghosts in the wall. He's scanning the walls, trying to find the best plugs. I love this guy already. But while the scan was otherwise routine for him, it definitely spilled a little tea. Just as you had feared, he found a camera that was connected to a live feed. Yeah, live feed. Everyone's sitting around watching like it's Jersey Shore. The family scanned the home searching for it, whatever this was, and they found the actual camera recording them, and it was above them the entire time. I said it in the title. It was another smoke alarm camera thing. Juke out. The family confronted the host of the Airbnb over the phone, who responded by reassuring the family that there's no other camera. Like, oh, okay, it's just the one? That's fine. All right, cheers. Have a good night. Five stars also. In the end, the family contacted the right people at Airbnb who removed said host from the platform. Yeah, I'll say it again. Check those smoke detectors. Health and safety McWaters over here telling you check your smoke detectors. Hit that thumbs up, but also change those batteries. Number 4, hotel. Next one comes from Reddit user Zakayak K2. They posted a story about how they and their boyfriend once stayed in a hotel while on vacation in another state. Totally normal stuff. Dare I say, sounds a little romantic and lovely. They were getting all settled down for the night, and that's when they realized there was some sort of cord coming out from behind the TV. Now, this is a family who knows cords, okay? I grew up with the 3 color wires, that whole system. My lanky arms were always used in the household to plug things in, okay? So I noticed a wire sticking out as well. It's definitely not HDMI. We know what they look like. They investigated a little bit further and realized that it wasn't attached to the TV at all, and instead it was being threaded through a hole in the dresser below, okay? Little dresser guy watching TV. This dresser was stuck. They couldn't even open it, so at this point, they broke it open. Obviously. I mean, at that point you have to, okay? I'll pay for the damage, but what's going on? Inside, they found a tiny camera that was pointing out of another tiny hole from the front of the dresser. They covered it up and of course called the police. This is the best part. It turns out the police had actually used that very same room prior to this couple checking in and staying. So the police had actually used it for a sting operation, which is why they had placed the camera there in the first place. It wasn't a creep, it was actually the police this whole time. It was a sting and the police. I don't know, sting and or the police. The antenna part would have been connected to some sort of memory storage thing and to a power bank, so nobody was on the other end watching a live feed. You know, fortunately the situation was just some leftover wires, but can you imagine? Still pretty jarring. Number 3, into the woods. Heading back to the year none of us can remember for some reason, back in 2017, somebody did get a voice note of this, and I had to include it. It's terrifying. This is a sound they could hear coming from the woods near their house where they live. Imagine like living near this. I would never sleep again. Here's that sound. Let's dive in. Clearly the person taking this video is absolutely terrified, as I also would be. I mean, I'm getting an eerie feeling watching this, and I'm not even close to any woods at all right now. Maybe there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this whole thing, but regardless, even if that's the case, this one sound is absolutely chilling to hear. It's not connected to anybody, it's just, yeah, let's put in a ghost sound. Put in a ghost recording every now and then. Those always scare you. Number 2, Lance Armstrong phone calls. Okay, if you haven't heard about this, it's quite good. Not good, but you know what I mean. Historical. Not to be confused with Neil Armstrong, although there's some space recordings that you should probably hear as well. Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France 7 times from 1999 to 2005. Impressive. I can't even imagine. My legs get tired walking up the stairs to film this video, let alone cycling that fast and far. It's more than likely you've heard about some happenings with Lance, some scandals. You know, let's talk about them. In July 2004, Greg LeMond, also a Tour de France winner, he won 3 times. He secretly recorded himself having a conversation with Stephanie McIlvaine. Stephanie overheard a conversation while Lance was in the hospital being treated for testicular cancer, but she admitted on the phone what she overheard. See, Lance admitted to using steroids to a doctor. This is like meta, this is kind of confusing. It's a confession of something that was overheard on another phone call. It's literally broken telephone, but it checked out. Armstrong insisted that this conversation with medical staff never happened, but come October 2012, much later, the anti-doping agency confirmed that Armstrong had been using throughout his career. The Tour de France stripped him of his titles, which is, I don't know, comment down below. I mean, obviously, juicing is a no-go, but that's still really impressive. I don't know, that's still wildly impressive, especially for someone who has cancer. I'm like, I don't know, still wildly impressive in my humble opinion. Number 1, UVB 76, best for last in my humble opinion. In the 1980s, when a radio tower just north of Moscow began transmitting these random creepy sounding beeps, yeah, beeps are now creepy. Here we go, we're now on beeps. Bumblebee top 10 beeps. Well, come 1992, the sound began to change. Yeah, that year it suddenly switched to a buzzing sound. It was short and sweet rather than a little beep. It would happen around 25 times a minute. This strange routine would be interrupted once every few weeks by a male voice, which would then be reciting a string of numbers and words like he's trying to reset the Winter Soldier, I don't know, random words. And to make things even more creepy, in June 2010 and also in August of the same year, the station briefly stopped sending out any signals. Maybe they ran out of battery. Maybe that guy took a lozenge break. I don't know, some lemon tea, all that talking. Probably. At the end of August in 2010, the station again changed and there began to be different shuffling sounds this time, and also thuds that could be heard in the background and often. And also little snippets of the dance of the little swans from Swan Lake that would also interrupt the broadcast. Like, I didn't think it could get creepier, but then it did. It's like weird voices, weird sounds, shuffling, and Swan Lake. You're like, what am I hacking into right now? What James Bond movie is this? It's lovely. If any secret agents are listening to this or watching, I want in, you know, send me a couple beeps, send me some Swan Lake stuff. I'll do a pirouette and then take out an agent. Easy. Those are the top 10 darkest secret recordings in history you weren't supposed to see or hear or know about, but now we've done it. Stay safe out there. I'm Taylor McWaters. We'll see you next time on Top 10 Bumblebee.